Chris Matthews, take one. Mark.
This is Casey Wu, take one. Mark.
I was told that I can just be my authentic self, Chris.
Casey, authentic self, Wu. Already off to a bad start. You only get one first impression.
For 6 years, I don't want to be in front of a camera.
There's so much to do and so much fun to be had when you play Halo that I feel like I never run out of things to do.
John is a Halo hype man and has been the official Halo hype man for many years.
I love intricate stories that take place across lots of different worlds, have lots of different meaningful characters.
Melissa Boone, the Microsoft employee. Hang on a second. Melissa's not talking about Halo. She's talking about stories in general, not the story of Halo.
I love intricate stories that take place across lots of different worlds, have lots of different meaningful characters.
John's statement was about Halo, and they sandwiched her statement in between two different statements about Halo to make it sound like she is talking about Halo as well. Odd.
So successful at the beginning. What is the legacy of Halo and what's the soul that we want to bring forward and what's the craft of making Halo games?
A second piece of bread is said by Elizabeth Van Wyck, COO of Halo Studios.
And how do we set our studio up best to go deliver on that?
Questions. Loads of questions. I'm here trying to see what you think the answers are.
At the beginning, what is the legacy of Halo and what's the soul that we want?
I would actually like to hear your answers to these questions. We already know the legacy of Halo, before and after it was passed over to 343.
At the beginning, what is the legacy of Halo and what's the soul that we want to bring forward and what's the craft of making Halo games and how do we set our studio up best to go deliver on that?
What is the soul of Halo you want to preserve? Like seriously, I'm asking. I'm not sure I understand the question. What is the craft of making Halo games? I don't see anything wrong with the last part of this statement, but I am hung up on the craft of making games. Like, what is she asking? The making of making Halo games? As for my answers to your questions, how about I show you the legacy of Halo?
This is one of the coolest I've ever seen.
Not bad, soldier, not bad at all. But are you ready to take the next step? Halo, Combat Evolved. Buy one, heck, buy two.
It comes down to is getting together with people, being able to, talk about, oh, it was so great when you killed me with that rocket, I didn't even know it was coming,
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that?
Hey, aliens! Oh, Jesus, why you do this to me? Aliens everywhere!
Hey, we could use this to make movies.
Yeah, we could totally use this to make movies.
Don't worry, boys. There's still plenty of parts for everybody. Master Chief's gonna need a lot of stunt doubles.
Academy and Halo.
I'm a huge fan of Bungie. Master Chief!
Hey, Bungie, thank you very much. You guys have made like the last 7-8 years just great.
It's about kicking ass in as many ways as possible.
It's about guns and more guns. That's what it's about.
The really important thing to do now is to take all these different disciplines who are all working on their own things and take all those pieces, take the AI code and the physics and the guys working on the levels and bring all those pieces together at the same time. And then you keep doing that. You keep colliding things together until it's a game. I don't know if we're crazy or stupid or we just like good stories or what, but we certainly worry about that a lot more than you might think we'd have to in a game that's mostly just about action and about not thinking.
In Halo 1, there was maybe 30 seconds of fun that happened over and over and over and over again. So if you can get 30 seconds of fun, you can pretty much stretch that out to be an entire game. Encountering a bunch of guys, melee attacking one of them before they were aware, throwing a grenade into a group of other guys, and then cleaning up the stragglers before they could surround you. And so you can have all the great graphics and all the different characters and lots of different weapons with amazing effects, but if you don't nail that 30 seconds, you're not going to have a great game.
Back to Casey and her authentic self.
We knew we had to make a change in order to take us into the future.
Got it. Casey, authentic self, had to make a change. Woo.
About Halo, moving to Unreal Engine, my first thought was this is going to be a really hard secret to keep.
I don't care what Lenny has to say about this project. He's a representative of Epic and in charge of licensing of the engine. I didn't even listen to what he just said.
I think fans are going to be excited about the future of Halo because of the possibilities that are afforded us.
Well, Marcellus, fans do tend to get excited over the mere announcement of a thing they recognize from some time before coming back. As for the possibility of the Unreal Engine, plenty of people watch the trailers for fake games in the Unreal Engine all the time, so I'm sure that plenty of people are all well and good with switching from Havok to Unreal. I believe more often than not, gameplay itself is more important than what engine it was created in.
By using Unreal?
Before, we really had to split our focus in thinking about building an engine, supporting it, being really kind of a tech company and a studio at the same time.
Oh no, it's all falling apart in front of my eyes. Game studios make game engines to make games. Game development is tech development. Saying 343 failed because it was split focus between making a game and an engine is just incorrect.
Since we've made the change to shift to UE, we can bring Halo forward in ways that people have never seen before while still being true to what Halo is.
Right. And what is the soul of Halo you want to preserve? What is being true to Halo mean to you?
Foundry Project was an effort to show ourselves how far we can push things using Unreal 5.
New studio art director, Chris, came to me and said, hey, I have this crazy idea.
He said, hey, there's this thing called Project Foundry that I want to do. Let's make it happen.
Foundry specifically is based around the same concept of the Foundry in Halo lore. Is the place where Halo rings are born.
And here he is, the man who worked under Marcus Leto at Ridgeline on Battlefield. He's the studio art director. You'll love to hear that you have this kind of connection coming to Halo, where you have the old guard complimenting the current torchbearer.
It's not a game, it's a research project.
Not a game, a research project. Makes me think they're going to release a one-for-one recreation of Halo CE.
For our studio, so we can prepare ourselves for the next steps of making Halo games.
Halo has like 3 main camps. You have your art style camp, your sandbox gameplay camp, and your lore story camp. The holy trinity of Halo fandom. The hidden Xperias of the world are getting what they want, iconic Halo iconography, and they have been getting that since Halo Infinite. But what about the gameplay and sandbox crowd? We've been left hanging with Sprint and Armor Lock in Reach. Halo 4 left behind the story and lore camp with a thorough misunderstanding of Cortana, Chief, the Forerunner, and the mythos of the universe as a whole.
The original Halo franchise was a graphics showcase. It was best in class. That's what Halo was when it first was released, and that's what Halo needs to be again.
They should definitely be striving for the throne again, because Halo was the king for so long. Chris and Daniel appear to have the art lovers happy once again. I'm not sure if anything we are seeing today will do anything for the rest of the Halo audience, though.
So once Project Foundry had been approved, we took the entire creative team and we ideated on 3 locations, something old, something new, and something really alien.
Unreal always looks great, but graphics do not make a game good. Amazing vistas don't make a game good. The amount of teraflops don't make a game good.
Teraflops.
The amount of objects on the screen doesn't make the film good.
It doesn't mean that technology is going to make the film any better. That has nothing to do with art.
Technology is used to tell a story, and that's the whole point. It's really the filmmaker and the storyteller and how well they're able to tell the story that counts in the end. The techniques they use are really a byproduct of that.
So you can have all the great graphics and all the different characters and lots of different weapons with amazing effects, but if you don't nail that 30 seconds, you're not going to have a great game.
We had the Pacific Northwest, which is sort of traditional Halo biome.
We were trying to shove as much foliage in there as humanly possible to make it really feel like you're on a hike in the, Cascades.
Well, Andrea, the amount of foliage in an area does not make it fun to move around in. It needs to be fun first and foremost.
Cold Lands, which was the second biome that we took on, it was more of a technical showcase where we could play with shaders, we could play with deformable landscapes and terrains. Unreal affords us more opportunity than we've ever had in the past.
You know, on the surface, it might just look all like snow, but how many layers of things combine to really give that winter look?
Roll the clip of Jamie.
So you can have all the great graphics and all the different characters and lots of different weapons with amazing effects, but if you don't nail that 30 seconds, you're not gonna have a great game.
And then our third biome was the Blightlands, which is any land that's been completely taken over by the Flood.
The Flood is what confirms to me that a 1-for-1 recreation of Halo Combat Evolved is in the works. The images they've shown all reflect things we've seen in CE back in 2001, playing the Unreal Engine.
I wanted to give our team the opportunity to really express an alien world, a really alien world, taking something way further than they may have actually done in previous Halo games.
What's impressed me about watching the Halo team work in Unreal is how beautiful everything looks, how incredible the environment.
I don't care. More often than not,
I don't think we've seen anything quite like it in Unreal Engine before.
Fortunately, we have a studio that's really passionate about Halo, about the look and the feel, and you know.
I'm not sure that I do know, Max. The COO hasn't clarified what about Halo she wants to bring forward. Clearly, we're getting the look of Halo. I'm skeptical on the feel of Halo. And do we mean game feel when we say that? Or is this another way of saying the spirit of Halo?
I think there's a lot of hunger to really collaborate, to move forward together.
I'm glad the team wants to work together. That's reassuring.
Foundry was an initiative that touched on every part of the creative process. Everything from concept art, VFX, characters, vehicles, and weapons to make the future games of Halo.
Creating an asset, taking this design, now we can really dig into material foundations. What is it actually made of? How is it physically accurate to the world? Now we get to take all the wonderful legacy assets that we have, bring them to life, and bring them to today's standards.
What are today's standards? Bloated 139 gigabyte games that need day one patches? Are those today's standards? Can we have 2001 standards? 2007 maybe?
We are really excited to be not just working on multiple projects, but also expanding our studio.
I'm guessing that they're doing a 343 thing, like multi-remakes and a new game. We'll see in the next coming months.
As a lifelong Halo player, I think the game's only going to get better when we get those new, unique perspectives and people bring in their expertise and passion for the Halo franchise.
We are looking for new talent as the projects that we're working on kind of get further and further into their development cycles.
And it is great to be part of a team that's growing because
Deja vu. Didn't you guys make this video like 13 years ago when you were 343? When you announced Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary and Halo 4? So what, you changed your name? We still know it's Microsoft making Halo, not Bungie. Bungie also couldn't make Halo in its current state. Have you seen Bungie? It's sad what happened to that studio. But anyway, let's see your work, and we can start talking about the collaborative effort once we've seen its level of quality.
And it is great to be part of a team that's growing because you can kind of see that force multiplied as people come in and take on challenges and you can do more.
We should probably hear more from Dan if he's the lead designer. What Halo game is he trying to make? Elizabeth, you should be asking Dan what Halo Studios is doing with Halo. Wait, that's gonna get confusing.
Imagine a place where you have the commitment that this is what we want to do, Halo games, and create those experiences. And you can express your talent, your creativity, and your professional ambitions in that place.
We're looking for designers, we're looking for artists, we're looking for engineers.
It feels like a new beginning for the studio in a lot of ways, and I think that's pretty rare.
And I think we arrived now at a point where you see the beginnings of people to start to believe in the process.
So what is the soul of Halo you want to preserve? What does being true to Halo mean to you? Dan, Elizabeth, Pierre? What is the soul of Halo you want to preserve?
There's so much momentum that we have right now, and focus and clarity on not just what we're building, but why we're building, and kind of this next phase of
why you are building? Profit, right? Isn't it because Microsoft wants to generate revenue off the Halo brand? What are you asking?
Halo.
The worlds that we're building, the stories that we're going after.
The potential at Halo right now is huge.
Halo Infinite was the last remnants of how we made Halo games in the past. That was our recipe. And what we are doing right now, we're changing the recipe.
Oh. Nothing. The answer is you want to preserve nothing. You want to change it and not do it the old way. If you're changing the recipe, you're not preserving what came before. You're changing it. Master Chief looks chunky. Is this Fluffy Chief? Fluffy Chief.